Hello gang, and welcome to the table once more, and this time we're going to play something more simple and different system. It's not Hexas, it's not properly designed for solo, and it's wargaming, as I say, made in Europe from Hexasim, um, from Philippe Hardy. I did make an unboxing and some talk about this game, which is the second volume on the By Faith Pike and Chart. Yeah, and we're going to play scenario number 6, which is the Battle of Cognac. Well, excuse my French. So it's on the January the 6th, 1568. They wanted to drag and trash it. Lancelot du Voisin, Sieur de la Popelinière, soldier and writer about Catholic soldier exhuming Huguenot Captain Ponsenat killed during the Battle of Cognac. Okay, the historical context. A Huguenot troop en route to join Condé's army, which is besieging Chartres, crosses the river Allier on the Vichy Bridge and heads west, coming out of the Randan wood in the village of Cognac, today Cognac, which stands on a small height. The troop finds a Catholic army standing in their way in the Limagne plain down below. Okay, that's pretty much. The Huguenot troops are en route to Chartres, and obviously they are stopped by a Catholic column. Army organization in this era was by columns, which could act independently. Think about small army corps kind of thing, and you would have lieutenants commanding the columns and everything. In this case, we have one column under Ponsenat, and that's the Huguenots, and we have Saint Aaron, which is commanding the Catholics. We are not trying to emulate everything they did, but we're going to use all the rules the best I can, and if you see any mistakes, please do point out. Now, the Catholic column has an attack order, and when you reach the big battles, when there's more than one column, you give orders per column. Okay, so a column has one commander and all the troops in it, same as the Catholics. This is all one column with one commander to it. The Catholics have an attack or attack, so the counters have both sides. You have the French and the English version, and reserve, of course, in English, for the Huguenots. This has, and the orders have an important thing which I'm going to show. So, for example, all orders have initiative rating, they have effect on movement, and then you have effect on combat. which, depending on the order given, you may switch a step loss for a retreat or for only a disruption, and you also have, if you are required to make a quality check, you have, depending on the order chosen for the column, there's also a modifier. Okay, another thing regarding the units, which is basically how the counters work, and that's pretty straightforward. It's kind of okay. Let's grab, for example, C. Let's grab these 2 units, for example. Okay, so is it in focus? Okay, I think they might be. Wait. Okay. The circle is the color code of the column, same as the ribbon on the top, and is the quality rating of the troop. The last number on the bottom right is the movement points. The letter is the class, from the highest being A, the lowest being E, F. On the left is the combat rating with the color symbol. Triangle is close combat, mainly, like arme blanche, and the yellow circle is shot. The 2 letters there is just to identify which battle they are present on. So in this case, the CO is for the Battle of Cognac, which is the one we are playing right now. So simple. The opposite side is the reduced side. There are some exceptions. For example, if a dragoon type can dismount, the backside is just dismounted and they have no step. Okay, the Huguenots have the chance of deploying what the French called as enfants perdus, which is the lost children, technically, literally translating, but it doesn't mean that. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It is just like a forlorn hope detachment. But the unit can deploy 2 at a step loss, which in this case we had 1 regiment of arquebusiers deploying 2 enfants perdus, and then we use this marker saying that the lost children, number 6, are of this unit. They can rejoin the mother unit, no problem. Okay, so the game sequence is kind of I go, you go, with reactions in the middle. All the zones have a code in the middle, which first number denotes the height. The other 2 numbers is the number of the zone. So this is 0 height 23, and the Roman numeral represents the type of terrain. 1 being pretty much unimpeding terrain. Number 2 is more difficult. 3 is very, very difficult. And if we see an X, there's none in this map, it's impassable. And at the same time, each zone has borders to other zones in which the dashed line doesn't matter if it's yellow or brown, it has no effect. If it's a solid line, yellow or brown, doesn't really matter, like a solid line. It's has difficulty. In this case, we don't have anything with a double solid line. In this map, we have none. Okay, it's even more harder. And if it's a thick, bold line, there's it's impossible to 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 cross. In some maps, there's road movement. In this one, we will have none. Okay, there's command ranges, so units can become isolated. This scenario has no supply, so there's no baggage trains. We can use cavalry charges. We have no units that can use the caracol, which was this sort of Cantabrian circle with the cavalry with the pistols. And obviously we have everything else, all the orders and the disruptions and isolated, all those markers. Okay, so we're going to start, and the Catholics, we're going to use the blue dice for the Catholics, and we're going to use the white for the Huguenots, the Protestants. We're going to use the purple ones to calculate visually the combat factors and whatnot. So we are on an attack order, so everyone can move. We're going to move the Chevaux Légers, which is the light horse. They have a 6 movement rating. So, oops, we will move them all. You will see how the combat. So it's 1. This counts as difficult ground, so it becomes, as they say, costs 2 movement points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I cross the river there, it's not a river, it's actually a stream. It's a solid line, which is plus 1 movement point. So we are 4, 5, 6, but we risk being isolated. His rating is 4, so we will see in the end. But we need to be aggressive here. The Catholics need to put pressure before the Huguenot army can gather all the columns in a big. Okay, we have also some arquebusiers in Lunel. They have 4 movement, so 1, 2. Okay, we're going to stay on the west side of the river here. We're going 3 movements. Okay, we're going to move and move. Oh, yeah, it's 3 because when you enter a zone next to enemies, you pay 1 more. I'm not going to check if the Forlorn Hope units, they don't project zone of control, but don't know if they affect the plus 1 movement point. I think they do. Same in this case. So they would spend 1, 2, 3 because there's intersection there between the all the adjacent zones, so it's easy to understand. So it's all about the borders and the vortex where the vortex where they meet. Same 1, 2, 3. Now here our gendarme. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I will be 1, 2, 3, 4. I will still be in control. Yeah, that will be okay. It's just a simulation of distance. That is where you can apply messengers or whatever. 2, 3, 4. Now, do I want to immediately crash their back? Or do I want to move the cavalry up and eventually make a full sweep along with the... I think I'm going for a full sweep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. Seeing the situation, and this is a fairly simple scenario, but it's kind of complicated regarding the tactic to use. So in a broad operational thing, on the other times I played, I tried to circle from both sides, but was having problems in the village and with the Protestant gendarmerie holding very nasty ground, and eventually their arquebusiers started taking the toll on our center there. Eventually ended in a draw, really, but that's not what the Catholics want at this point. The Protestants have a chance of retreating to the woods, but at the same time, the entire strategy of the Protestants is actually to reach Chartres and assemble the full army. So Ponsonnet has a big problem here. So will I try to do the historical objective and try to break through the Catholic column, or should I try to retreat to the woods, lose valuable time, may or not eventually defeat the Catholics? And remember, the Catholics' objective is just to block the way of the Huguenots. Okay, so I have to make a decision here. I think I'm going to read. Actually, it's not yet the Protestants. I'm just thinking ahead. So now I can have reactions from the well, if I had more movement points than the Chevaux Légers, I could make a reaction charge, but I can't do that. The only thing I can do here is make a reaction fire, which I will. So combat. And we're going to... Combat is always zone to zone, with one unit being decided as the lead attacker and the one unit being as the lead defender. So in this case, I'm going to put them in the border and put the rest in the back. So we know what's happening here. And that's the only reaction we're going to do. Now comes the interesting part about combat. Okay, so we have a D. Okay, the Protestants have a 1, right? Against the 3 of the Catholics. Okay, the Catholics are a C, which is higher than D. They gain a 4. And they are behind a solid line against Arquebusier, which they gain a 5. And we have an interesting table here. Which is always one side attacker and defender separated by the dash. We have the DS, which is this organization. We have the TQ, which is to test the quality, and the numbers are step loss, asterisks. Asterisks is to check for leader casualties, and if there's a cardinal, you cannot replace the loss for anything. We saw the orders, when we saw the orders that we were using, some of them had the ability to substitute step loss for retreats or for disorganization, but if the result has a cardinal, there's no chance to use that ability. So we're going to roll 4 at a -3. That's not a 6, it's a 4. So if we go to the -3 to a 4, we have the attacker gets disrupted and the defender has to test quality. So we got a disruption on our and now we have to test the quality of the pikeman, which is a 3. They have the commander, but the commander gives no effect. There are some scenarios where commanders give specific bonuses, but this is not one of them. So we are a 3, we want a 3 or less. So perfect was a 5 and he is okay. If he would fail the quality check, it would become disrupted. Okay, this was the reaction fire, and now there can be attacks by the active player, which is the Catholics, and they will attack. We'll attack with this unit. This one will defend. The attacking player doesn't have to declare all the attacks. He can declare one by one. One zone can only make one attack to another zone, but one zone can be attacked from multiple zones. Okay. So first I will attack with the Catholics for +1. Okay. So we have a 4 on the +1. The 4 is we have to test our quality for the attacker and disruption on the defender. So as we see, we already have 2 units of the defender disrupted. This becomes more and more important as I'll put them kind of sideways. We have to test the quality there. So it's a 3. But no, they also got disrupted. So we're going to put them here a bit aside. Okay, this was one attack. Now we're going to attack again. So we can attack through the... nope, solid line, okay. And solid line as well. I don't think we can attack. Okay, so now it passes to the non-active player, where he can do his movement. And plan his attacks and everything, and the other player can react accordingly. So what we're gonna do is we're going to contest that, and we have only our... if you noticed, the Protestants have a lot of fire and no pikes. If I retreat the Enfant Perdu here, I will have a problem. I'm going to move this shot there, and I will move these ones forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to contest this. Now, regarding the Enfant Perdu, they have -1 movement point, absolutely no problem. I will move back and reorganize the unit. So they rejoin the mother unit, and we still stay and hold Cognac. Absolutely no differences here. So now reactions, there could be a reaction charge if the movement would be higher, but it's the same. Here there will be a reaction fire. Okay, and that's pretty much all the reactions. So let's see again. We have a 3 for the Catholics, and we have a 3 for the Protestants. So both are Ds, everything is okay. The defender has a +1 for the terrain, and that's pretty... it has a +1 for the supporting unit, and no, sorry, this is a 3 because reaction fire. This is a 4 supporting unit and 2 supporting units. So basically they are firing at a -2 in the table. So we need to check the table out and see what happens. So a -2 with 3. Okay, the attacker becomes disrupted, and the defender has to test for quality. We passed. Wowly. Okay, that was the only reaction. Now it's the combat per se. So we're going to do attack anyways. It's going to decide to use another unit to defend. You might think this is odd, but okay, the gendarme up there are going to attack. and we are going to defend with our chevaux de légère, no problem. I did not need to declare both attacks, but just for a visual aspect, I did, so we can see now. So we're going to check our combats. So we have a 3. Let me check on the attack. I think combat +1 to the CR. I made a mistake. The Catholics have a +1 to the combat rating. Okay, so it's a 3 against a 4 against a 5, and the disrupted units do not provide support, so it's only a 5, and we had 2 for a 5, so we are rolling at a 0 at this point. Okay, so we have a 2 on 0, so the attacker gets disrupted. Okay, let's put it like that, and the defender must test quality, which they pass. So we're starting to see a lot of disorganization here. On the north, we have a 4 for the combat rating of the light horse, and we have a 5 for the gendarme. But our calm orders is attack, so we add 1 to our combat rating. Both are E class. It's pretty much the bottom. It doesn't mean they are untrained. It does mean they are harder to control. So from class A to class B, they can be impetuous, not really regarding the training level. And there's pretty much no other concerns because it's open ground. So we have a roll at a 0. So we are 4 on a 0, sorry. It's both test their against their quality. So we have a 5 and a 6, and both fail. So both become disrupted. So start having a lot of disrupted units. So they basically clashed, and horses everywhere. And I think it's an important thing for games where cavalry charges happen. Unless a cavalry charge, and this is my point of view, unless a cavalry charge is successful, the cavalry will become bogged and disorganized. Okay, we reach the end of the combat phase. So now we move forward to that administration phase, which we can check for our we have the option to change our we have the reorganization segment. Okay, so we will try that from the top to the bottom. We have no one disorganized, so it's important because it's at the end of each of the player phases that you can recover the disorganized units. So the Catholics ended their phase with none that is disorganized. In the Protestant phase, we disorganized everything, but now at the end of my phase I can reorganize my units. So I'll try that one. Oh, it's the white. They did. And this one, they failed. And I think only the side that that was no, I made a mistake here, because if they are in enemy zone of control, they cannot reorganize. Yeah, so no one can, and that's pretty much okay. And now we have to choose the orders for the next well, we move to turn 2, kind of. There's no victory points, and we now need to choose orders for the next phase. And what happened here is that the Catholics will maintain an attack, so there's absolutely no need to change the role, but the the Huguenots are going to change to attack as well. Okay, they need to punch through. Now we need to make a roll to change orders if the column receives them or not. So in this case, we want to go to this table, and our current order is on the reserve. Do you want to change to attack? There's no modifier, so it's just a quality rating of the column commander. So we are a 4. It's a 4 or less. Yeah, we managed 2. Okay, that's perfect. That's turn 2. And turn 2, and we have to roll for initiative. Let's take all the dice away from here, and to make a extended interval there. And we have to roll for the quality rating of the commanders, which is a 4, plus the order, plus the order initiative rating. That for attack, it's a 2. So blue is the Catholics, white is the Protestants, and we have a tie. Let's roll again, and the Catholics have the initiative. So same as before, we start with the movement and all that. So we still have an attack there, and we will continue with our sequence here. What we're gonna do regarding the stacking, it's by the Roman numeral. So a zone that is a 1 can stack 4 units. A unit that is a 2 can stack 3. A unit that is a 3 can stack 2. A unit that has an X stacks none. In this case, I can stack 4, but I need to recover that unit, and I have to think about how to do it. in this, at the same time, we are being hard pressed here, and we need to we need to apply some good pressure there. We need to apply some pressure in the center. That is not where we don't risk really losing the center, and the Protestants are well entrenched in the town. I made some mistakes that I did point out. There's another mistake regarding the movement, because when a unit spends 3 movement points, it must perform a quality check. So basically, I can spend 2 movement points, no problem. The unit stays organized. As I spend the third, I have to quality check, and if they fail, they become disorganized. Now I want to check one thing about the movement, which is the movement from and to another zone of control. So all units except leaders, artillery, and bagage exert a zone of control. So the enfant perdu would definitely exert a zone of control. Okay. A junction point is sufficient to project the ZOC. And obviously we have the +1 cost for the movement. And I have absolutely nothing that says that I cannot move. It's only that problem. Okay, so what I will do here, I'm gonna move back. So I spent two movement points regarding the disrupted, and I have to remember that the reaction fire units must pass the quality check. I must remember that. Okay, regarding the DS, they can perform a cavalry withdrawal, but that's a reaction. Regarding the movement, they have a -2. Aha. So we have, so a 6 becomes a 4. Okay. And I have moved there, and I spent 2. Okay, and this is zone 1, so I can perform this stacking. We have the light horse will move here, so that's 2 movement points. Okay, and with this I will move 1, 2, 3 movement points, because it's 2 for passing the border. It's 1 movement +1 and plus another, because I'm entering the zone of control of the Huguenot gendarme. So I'm going to test for each one. So the top one, we have a 5, it passed. Only a 6 will fail. Okay, the second one failed. They are pretty much equal, so we have a disorganized in the back, and Jesus, the Other one also failed. Wow, it's pretty much brutal. I moved this one back so I can recover it. Okay, this one's moved as well, so it was 1, 2. And I stop there, okay. And the problem is if I move this can reaction charge, but I can only select one of the places, so I will advance anyway. So that's 1, 2, 3, because I'm in the junction there. And let me just check, because the junctions project through any corner, any junction point, except only if double solid line and the other one. Okay, so I have to check also because they spent 3 movement points. Oh, they could, yeah. Okay, so the first one failed, the second one passed. So we have some disorganization there. It's not crucial, but at the same time, we are going to move both units of pikemen forward, and they also have to test. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, everyone's still in command. So the first one passed, second one failed. Becomes problematic, but maintaining formations, especially, I mean, these units of shoulder to shoulder with lots of gear across streams, across forests, even if it's in a unit in a loose order, it will become a problem. Regarding these ones, this one will move back. We need to recover, and this one will also move back to there. Let's reorganize, and this one will stay. Absolutely no problem. So the reaction fire and the reaction charges are only to units that move into the zones. So these ones can react to that zone, but cannot react to that because the enemy was already there. The same with these. They can react to this one because of the junction, or to this one. They cannot react to both. Same with this one. They can react because these ones move, the gendarme move here, and the light horse moved here. So, and the arquebusier also moved there, so they can react to either this one or that one. Okay, that was pretty much the movement. So I will have reaction fires from this zone to there, and from this zone to there. I'll declare everything already, but the players don't have to declare it. Okay, and I am going to do a charge. Because, oh no, I can't, and this is why. Because my movement, my highest movement in the zone has to be higher than the highest movement unit in this zone. So it's a 6 against a 6 and is equal, so we can't. The same against the Catholic gendarmerie, we can't really do it. So we are limited to this reaction and that reaction. So we're going to do it. So we have the combat rating of 3 there. It's not a quality. Oh, we have to pass a quality check. So we passed 3. So we are on a 3 against the pikeman 3, and they will defend. They are defending with that one. Okay. We have 2 support units. Let's add 2. This unit have none because the disorganized unit does not add a support. Now the defending unit is on zone 1, so there's no adding, and on top of that we have a +1 of attack for each. And our we are a rank C unit against the D, so we become, so we are rolling on the +1 table on the +1 column, but there's always a but, because the pikemen have a special thing regarding the combat result that I forgot earlier on. Let me just check it. I think they can make a shift. Maybe I misread it and it's not the pikeman. Let me just verify that. And I am certain. Oh no, it's only the clash of pikemen. Okay, I was wrong here. So it's good it's always good to verify these rules from time to time. So you're on a +1 and you roll the 3. So the pikeman unit becomes disrupted. Can I turn on the light here? Whoa. The flash is too strong, huh? Forget it. Okay, and we have to test the quality for the arquebusier, which is a 3. And we also failed, and we become disorganized. This is not a simple, like miniatures. They stand there like statues. No, you have to check the fluidity of the battle. The arquebusier took a long time to reload. The pikemen were coming closer. Half the unit fell back. Others still shot, and now they are a ragged formation. While at the same time, some of the pikemen fell. They are trembling over the fallen comrades, wounded, and with all the smoke, the formation breaks. Okay, and now another reaction fire, and they must choose a defense, and yeah, they will defend with the same one. So now it's a bit different. So we have a 3 and they have a 3, which is in the corner there. Okay, they are a C against my D, but they are disordered, and I have 1 support unit, and I am on attack +1, and he is also on attack. Let me check the disorganized units. So the combat, yes, cannot react, charge forbidden, support cannot provide. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we are at a +1. Oof. Okay. In the column 1, both units test for their quality. So quality 3, they failed. They already had a disorganized, and they lose 1 step. And I think they remain disorganized, but let's let the counter there and I will check it after. Now the Huguenot, yep, they passed their quality check. Now this was devastating for the Catholics. I didn't quality check if they could fire. Wait. Nope, they failed. We have to roll back. I have to remember that reaction fire units must test for their quality. It's kind of a representation if they will stand ground or they will fall back, because they know they take like a cycle of 5 minutes to reload the arquebus. Okay, glad I did it and I remembered. Give me a second, be right back. Back, and it is correct. The sun is going down. I mean, so I have to turn on the light, so we will have some shadows. I don't want to put the other light there because it's being used on the painting tables and don't want to move it. So if you see a lot of shadows, just go along with it. Yeah, they did not pass the quality check, so they cannot fire. Okay, so that was the reaction, and now we have the attacks. And for the attacks, we are going to attack with 1. We are going to attack. I am going to declare. I'm playing against myself in solo, so. And we will keep our arquebusier. We're going to charge with the light cavalry. That's how I can go through about, okay, combat principles. Let me see if I can go through the junctions. I should. Given that the junctions provide zone of control, line of sight, and everything, I would say that there's nothing that says it behaves different. The only thing that it says it's regarding the multiple attacks from the same zone to others. So I can only, this one can only select 1 to attack. In this case, I want to destroy the gendarmerie very fast, because remember the original plan, we wanted to push here and then make the sweep. Okay. We don't really want to attack with the pikemen. They are in the town. So I think I will just hold and try and see if they recover. That would be the reorganization. Okay. So there's a thing. I will do one thing, which is to leave this, but I had to, no, which is to leave these units here. And you will see why. Sorry for that. Okay, so now the attacks. We have the gendarmerie against those ones. I know it's risky, but we're going to do it anyways. So we have a combat rating of 5 against a combat rating of 5. Right. Let's put it there so we can see. Okay. And the Protestants have a support of 2 units. The Catholics have none because both are disorganized. And that's pretty much it. So the Catholics are rolling on a -2. It's okay, it's acceptable. So we rolled a 5 on the -2, means both test for quality. So they are equal. The Protestant failed with the unit they defended with, and the Catholics passed. The quality rating is a 5. So Protestant rolled a 6, failed, and the Catholics rolled, no, it's the other way around. The blues are the Catholics. I tend to think the white as the Catholics. I don't know why. Okay, not bad. Okay, didn't go as expected, but we have the light horse now attacking with the 4, and the gendarmes have a 5, 2 units in support, +1 for the order. I forgot the other, but it's a 1, cancels the 1. We have 2 units in support, plus the column order being an attack, it's a 3. And it's a E against the E, so we are rolling at the -1. And again, I had it opposite, so on the -1, a 3. We have a disordered on the light horse, and our defender has to check quality, which they pass. I'm making a lot of fuss with the Catholics here. Okay, now I cannot do any more attacks. I will not attack with the disordered units. I cannot recover. I can recover that one because it's not in a zone of control. So it's a 4, and they recovered. These are in zones of control. These are in zone of control. These 2 can recover. Oh, they cannot. Sorry, I was being silly here because they would be in the zone of control. So forfeit that forward and back before. So both have a 3. So let's go for the pikemen first. They recovered. And now for the arquebusier, they failed. Okay. So as you see, that it's important that the zones of control are yeah, we might gain a lot of territory, just then to lose it, to reorganize. 7 turns, and with the tracker there, 7 turns. So there's time to do things, but just not a lot of time. Okay, we did everything we could with the Catholics here. Now it's the Protestants' turn with the movements. And I mean, if we see the situation here, all we have to do is retreat this unit, try to reorganize them. And they have -1 movement point. So what I'll do is I'll move. And what do I want to do? Where do I want to for them to regroup? To counter this big attack, or to go around and try to envelop? I think we will go to try to envelop, because we need to break through. And if we threaten the crossing and open the road, that's our objective. We need to march to charge. So we move. It costs us 2. We stay here. Same with this one, costs us 2, and we will stay there. And now we can move 1, 2, or 1, 2. But this one can only hold 3 units, which I'll do. So it's 1, 2. Entering the zone 2 is 2 movement points. So I will have to test organization for that one. Quality check, and I can use the leader. No, that's only for the recovery. So it's a 3. Yeah, they got disorganized. Blasted. Anyway, we can do it. Yeah, but DS units do not exert zone of control. So these ones do not exert zone of control, but these ones do, because they are still. These ones don't. These ones don't. Okay, so we moved 1, and this one, 1, 2, yeah, I'm going to move here, 2. Should we risk to go there? And or 3, 4. Yeah, we're gonna risk it. We pass. Okay, we are good there. So we did not yet move anyone to any enemy zone of control. So they have no reactions. So that's good. So now it's us attacking. It's the Protestants attacking. So we're going to attack in the north there. So we have a 5. Okay, the Catholics will defend with one of the disorganized units. So they have a 5 combat rating against a 5. We have a +1 for because of the command column has a command order. Same with the Catholics. And we have 2 units in support, while the Catholics have none, and terrain exerts no modifiers. So we are rolling on +2 column. So a 5 on the +2, it's 0 losses for the attacker and 1 step loss for the defender. Okay, another Attack will be from the musket, from the arquebusier, shooting at, yeah, one of the pikemen. I mean, can be this one. Okay, so we have a 3. Firing at also a 3. And becomes a 4 because of the column order, and here becomes a 4 as well. And they have 1 unit in support, and we are crossing a solid line which is a +1 for the defender. Okay, I think I didn't check it before, and okay, the attacker are arquebusier across a solid line. It's a +1 to the defender. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no difference of the for the heights, so we are rolling at oh, and they are disordered, so 3, 4, 5, and -1 for being disorganized becomes a 4. So we are rolling at a column +1. Okay, +1 with a 2, it becomes both test quality. So we are rolling for the arquebusier. Oof, we failed. They become disorganized. It's not always goes as expected. Now the pikemen roll as well, and they failed, and they receive a step loss and remove the disorganization counter. So they let some of the men escape across the river, some stragglers, but the ones that are left are not that many over, not that many left, and they organize themselves with less troops. As I said before, depending on the order of the column, we could have ignored that step loss and replaced it with other order, but in this case we are in an attack order that does not allow step loss substitution. Okay, but we still want to attack more, and we want to attack from this zone to that one, and we are going to defend even with that DS unit. So we are on a 3, okay, against a unit that is sorry, that's the Catholics, a 3, Protestants. Let's make it like this. Okay, a 3 on a 3. The column has an attack order, and I forgot the quality before, you will see. And also our column order is an attack. We are a C against the D, so we gain 1 more, but we have 1 unit in support. But now the defender also has 1 unit in support. That's pretty much it. So we are rolling on -1. Ah, no, but they are disorganized. We are rolling on a 0. So a 0, we rolled a 6. Ooh, it's a step loss for the defender. It's pretty brutal. It's not looking good for the Catholics. What would you do? Okay, let's finish this turn and then we can talk a bit. Okay, so for recoveries, now this one is already exerting zone of control, so I cannot recover this, but I can recover those two. So let's recover that one. We did it. Man, I will not enter in religious discussions, but seems like these reformists, man, it's truly by faith and shot. They don't have any pikes here, so by faith, pike and shot doesn't apply. Well, the Catholics does, but they are having issues. But we are still in turn 2, so this one did not recover. Okay, now before we proceed to the next turn, we have to decide on changes of orders, and we are going to, the Catholics are seeing stuff stuff being not going their way, so they're going to try to switch order from attack. The Protestants will keep attack order, but the Catholics will try to change from attack to disengage. They have a +1 modifier, so a 4 plus. So they managed to change from attack to disengage. So what disengage gives us is we have initiative rating of -1, movement has no effect. We cannot attack, is forbidden, but we can react, of course. And the step loss substitution, we can retreat 1 geographic zone or to prevent any 1 or 2 step losses. Quality checks, we have a +1 to the die rolls. So what Santerem is trying to do is actually, if they are pressed even more, is try to disengage across the stream, reorganize and counterattack. Ponsonai seeing a breakthrough here that he can, especially if he can defeat the Catholic cavalry there. So would you do anything different? We are going to turn 3, by the way. Still no victory points to award so far. So if you were playing any of the sides, would you do anything different? Would have you retreated with the Protestants? I mean, look, you don't, when we are playing a game like this, many players don't really grasp the big historical situation. They just play the scenario as is. So if the Protestants return and try to hold the hill and the forest, right, they can win the game. But that's not the point. To recreate history is trying to do better than what they did back in the day. What would you do if you were the Catholic commander? what would you do if you would be the Protestant commander? And regarding these war games designed and made in Europe, what do you think about them? Have you played them? I'm sure many people played Hexasim games, but there are way more other companies that are starting to make very competitive, very beautiful, and they can see where the production value is. So not necessarily always the same publishers from United States, but also from other countries, Australia and Eastern Europe countries as well. So anyways, leave your comments and see you for the next 2 turns in a while. I think I want to wrap up this game during the weekend if I have time. Today I had a couple hours to do it. So cheers, thanks for keeping up. Leave your comments, subscribe, like or dislike, I don't really care. But yeah, leave your comments. So cheers.